And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you. Coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. Alright, everybody, so we are now here. And hello, Mary Toodles. Great to see you. Welcome. And now we'll be switching over to the other window. We had two verdicts today in the trials that my companions and I were watching, and now we're going to get into some of the different things that we talk about for the evening. All right, so here I am. Hello, everyone. It is I, Alien Spaceship. I hope everybody's been having a good day, good evening, and we will now get into the different topics we talk about. So, yesterday we talked about things from Monet and some art pictures, although there was some issues going on with the signal. I did some things, so we'll see how it goes this time. Now, we will be going into topics. So we're going to talk about some more art stuff today, some classics. It'll be kind of similar. Oh, Cheryl, great to see you. Welcome, my friend. People I know on YouTube get a wrench, so there you go. I'm glad to see you. Welcome to the stream. There are 50 cats orbiting the spaceship. Yes, there are 50 cats orbiting the spaceship. Yes. Yeah, and we talked about some different paintings and things like that yesterday, and I had a good time with you all. We'll be talking about some more of that stuff today, along with I usually give a breakdown about... Oh, hello there, Sharon. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. We will now be heading over to the other window. Let's see. Alright, we are here, and we're going to put this in this mode. Now, usually in the beginning, I will do a little review about the trial stuff that I watched, then go into the different things in the conversation. So, go here. Today was a nice day. It was a very nice outside. Now, so with Jose, there is this morning, I was there this morning, and the trial, and I was watching chat, and I was watching everybody. Eventually, I hopped in and told y'all hello as the verdicts were coming in. So, we're going to see this. They say, I will be docking in and out the spaceship. Oh, okay, understood. The two different men named Jose were found guilty in prominent court cases on September 19, 25. Jose... Oh, yes. Yes, you saw that too, Sharon. Yeah. Jose Escrelia Soto. And there is another Jose Ramirez. A third prominent case involving Jose Ibra was decided in November 24. So there was an additional trial of another Jose. But yeah, so the Jose that I'm referring to that we were watching was this individual who murdered his mistress and his kid that the person was going to have, and was found guilty today. That was something to see. And the other trial that we're watching was his name kind of slips my mind, but it was this man that deleted his husband, and he was trying to say there's like a third person that isn't really there, and no one really believed them, and do look like Count Orlok, Hunchback. That's what the do look like. The husband trial, yeah, that one certainly he looked strange. He was also guilty, so it was nice seeing the two different guilty verdicts today with chat. And there was Jose Soto, so a review about it. A jury in St. Lucy County, Florida, found Jose Antonio Soto guilty of the 2018 murder. Scared. The 2018 murder of Tanya Wise and her unborn son. And, back in the olden times, they had, royalty and different people that had a lot of kids out of these wedlock affairs, not just wedlock in general, but like these affairs where they had mistresses and they would give offspring, but usually they would let them have the kid and it would just be like a secret and people wouldn't really know about it. But it was well known, so I don't understand. Which he didn't want his marriage to get ruined, but he really ruined his marriage now. And it's like you could delete your own child and the mother of it. Yeah, I really the person is not a normal person. It is, I'd say, falls into the umbrella of the antisocial personality disorder because he lacks. I'm not a doctor or psychologist. I know nothing. This is just my amateur assumption. It was not something out of fear, in my opinion, or if it was fear for himself, because you would have to have some compassion for the descendant you're going to have. And I'll be extremely hypothetical. If he did have a problem with the wife, he would have this other woman, though. So, to also have. So it doesn't really make any sense. And he's so concerned about his own reputation that he's willing to do this horrid action. But by doing the horrid action, he actually deletes his reputation, everything about him. So, this is impulsive behavior, in my opinion, because like say a snake that's going to bite somebody without any kind of thinking, the id it has in its brain, it goes and bites. We humans have a similar thing, and complete selfish, in my opinion, is just and not really that bright or intelligent. So in my opinion, when the emotions, selfish and sick, yes, when the emotions are very high, it may cause any intelligence to go down, combined with a self-preservation, with a lack of empathy, remorse, and this desire to think that they got it right. There's something called the Cougar-Dunning effect. Somebody will think they have a lot of greatness in their position or knowledge in their position, like this type of person. And we've seen a lot of this in trials, including Donna Adelson, and we've seen riots. Some of us have seen riots and protests, things like that got out of hand, where they think that their own ability, it goes up on a scale, but the intelligence and stuff, it could happen to anybody. So I don't want to say anything out of hypocrisy. Anybody could fall into this. So, and then the intelligence part goes downhill, and they kind of overestimate themselves and not be careful, and then they'll not only do something like this, but get caught. So, yeah, selfish and sick. And context, Weiss was, not Weiss, that's a last name. This is Wise, it looks like. Wise, 23, and Weiss means white, by the way, in German. It just, that name looks like that other name. Wise was 23 and 1 week away from her due date when she was deleted. DNA later provided Escrelia was the father. Prosecutors argued he committed the murder to prevent his wife from learning about the pregnancy. People hear this, it's like the prosecution got it nail on the head. Right there. Next step, a jury will convey on September 24 to decide if he will face the deletion penalty. I say deletion penalty as a tradition from other podcasters that I knew on different shows I was on, as a way to kind of make it more allegedly presentable for YouTube, but you can say that on YouTube, of course, but it was just a tradition that I came up with. But yes, absolutely, Cheryl. Yes. Yes, indeed. She knows now. The death penalty, deletion penalty, it was a tradition I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with, a mentor of mine came up with it. And you can, delete somebody instead of saying kill somebody. It was, so that's what that means when I say delete somebody, for those that are new. So, Jose Bentico Ramirez, September 1925. Of course, that sounds like 1925 because I'm shortening the 25 part, but September 19, 25, 20, 25. All right. All actions have consequences no matter if a crime or on a playground. Amen, Sharon. That is quite true. That is complete facts. That and a philosophy to hold is that whatever happens is like your fault. That type of philosophy doesn't mean that somebody wronged you or someone's a victim of something. That's not what I'm talking about. But like, say if like I go outside and a lot of people, or I could say, I'm going to say myself, I might say to somebody that the reason why I'm wet is because it rained. But one thing I could have done was get an umbrella and not get wet at all. I just had one with me with my psychic alien abilities to try to decipher that. So by doing that and having practice of that, you will not fall into the trap like what these kind of people or on a playground or in the real life situations might do, because a lot of times people do not take accountability. And if everyone took accountability, I think it would be a better world. It doesn't mean somebody is a victim or someone gets robbed or somebody's wronged or like this woman that got deleted and it wasn't her fault. That's what I'm talking about. But like if people say, you know what, like this guy, he probably blames the female for what he got into or blames his wife, but he doesn't take a personal accountability. A lot of times people don't want to do that. So, of course, I don't want to say anything out of hypocrisy. It is something that I also must practice as well. I just believe that it would be a good thing if people would practice that more often. And Jose David was, or that was another case that we didn't see. This other case that we did not see was Jose Ramirez, September 19, 2025. The crime: David Ramirez Jose was sentenced to 63 months in federal prison in Texas for his role in a human trafficking conspiracy that smuggled over 400 undocumented immigrants. Absolutely, accountability, 1,000%. Yes, absolutely, yes, indeed, Sharon. Context: scared. His sentencing followed a guilty plea to one count of conspiracy to smuggle the illegal aliens and one count of harboring illegal aliens. Conspiracy ran for 5 months, bringing roughly 20 migrants into the U.S. per week. That is something interesting. Additional charges to court documents have also sexually assaulted a female migrant. Oh, that is something interesting that we did not know about. This is another Jose Ibra, November 2024. Crime: in prominent case in late last year, Jose Ibra was found guilty of the murder of University Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Yes, I remember that one. We watched that case. Context: judge found Ibra guilty of 10 counts, including malice murder and felony murder. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences without possibly parole. Conviction details: Ibra waived his right to jury trial. That case drew significant national attention due to status and undocumented immigrant. And the other case that we saw today, I'm going to get the name of it because it slipped my mind what the name of it was right here. Yeah, so definitely those are lessons to be learned about accountability that many do not adhere to. Okay. All right, so a review about earlier today. It was Herbert Swilly. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. And in September 25, Herbert was found guilty of the 23 murder of his husband, Timothy Smith, in Maroon County, Florida, and was sentenced to life in prison. Here are the key details of the case. The crime: Swilly was convicted of drugging, beating, and strangling his husband, Timothy Smith, before moving his body to a different location to stage a fake crime scene. discovery of the body. In March 23, Smith was found bleeded dead in an apartment he shared with Swilly in Ocala after failing to show up for work. Cause of death deletion. Autopsy revealed that Smith was dosed with 30 times the therapeutic amount of diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in Benadryl. Oh, I know what that is. So Benadryl is a medicine used for allergies. I used to take it, but not anymore. But I haven't really taken any allergy, but I usually would now do Claritin. But yeah, with Benadryl, it can make you really like relaxed and calm. And yeah, too much of the Benadryl could certainly cause something like this to occur. And that certainly would be a danger because it kind of like suppresses you, kind of makes you, it can make some people sleepy. He also had a blunt force trauma and a ligature mark on his neck. I told y'all he's like a Nosferatu, Count Orlok, the vampire. He had a mark on his neck because the dude in court, he's all hunchback and he looks like a lot of times. A lot of times you'll have this on someone's neck. They'll get like a vampire biting him. A lot of times these criminals will look like the people they like in horror movies and stuff. Like these people look like villains. Oh yeah, Cheryl has a lovely fur baby right there in the picture. Definitely. Very happy. Earlier today I saw some fur babies at my grandma's house. I saw one of them and he was just living his best life while I was getting everything set up for this evening. Yeah, so shout to the fur babies. Cover-up efforts. After the murder, Swilly attempted to cover up the crime by staging the scene, cleaning the original location, and deleting footage from the Ring camera. He later created a GoFundMe to raise money for his husband's celebration of life. Investigation and conviction. Evidence include the video surveillance, phone data, and witness testimony. Exposed the inconsistencies in Swilly's story. A jury found him guilty at first-degree murder in September 1925, after which he was immediately sentenced to life in prison. Now, this situation is very unfortunate for a life to be taken. And remember, we were talking earlier in chat how he was saying there was this thing going on where they were claiming there was like another person involved, and it's like they would have seen that or noticed something was going on. It's really foolish. Like, this is certainly the perpetrator of it. And going this way. Now, this was the defense argument, which was very silly. Lack of direct evidence. Defense attorney Clean stressed that the state did not present any direct evidence, such as eyewitness testimony, to prove that Swilly was the one who killed Timothy Smith. Alternate suspects and DNA. The defense pointed out oh yeah, that is true, Sharon. Scared. Alternate suspect and DNA. Defense pointed out DNA evidence found out the apartment where body was located, including DNA from multiple contributors, including at least one other male. They called James True's ex-wife to the stand, presents him as an alternative suspect, and questioned why investigators did more thoroughly pressure their leads. Examination, a fingerprints, DNA evidence found in apartment. Questioning prosecution's timeline. The defense also cast doubt on the state's narrative constructed from surveillance footage, while videos showed Swilly's truck figure walking, the defense argued it was possible to identify the driver or walker in the footage, therefore, there was no proof it was Willie. But of course, that was actually not true. They're also saying that Swilly was cooperative, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything either. And they accusing Swilly's daughter. Defense suggested that Swilly's daughter, who was also life insurance beneficiary, had financial motives. The defense noted that she sold some of her father's belongings without his consent. And in this circumstance, it's quite, as I said, blaming others but not themselves. And I think that the jury made a right decision in that case. All right. Sharon said, "I watched a lot of closing, though. Sounded interesting. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, but my opinion, I do think that the person did it. My opinion. Now, they usually do this thing with the prosecution, where they always will accuse the spouse of a murder. Now, Cheryl says that he gave her power of attorney, and what that is, just to give you like a definition of that. All right, Zero says the infamous purple and gold mist covers the spaceship. Oh, hello, Zero. Welcome to the stream. You are on board. Welcome aboard. Shout to Zero. He helps us run the spaceship in the background. Shout the with the different compartments of our massive spaceship that we have. All right. So shout to Zero. You're welcome aboard. Here's the purple and gold mist. Oh. Oh, and also Zero says shout to Mary Toodles. Yeah, thank you. A power of attorney is a legal, and this is to give you a definition of what power of attorney is. And thank you, Cheryl, for your take on that. A power of attorney is a legal document that allows one person, principal, to appoint another person to make decisions and act on their behalf. The agent's authority can be broad or limit to specific actions, and the POA is critical to the estate planning and management, legal, financial, and medical affairs. The state requires documents to be notarized and witnessed to be legally valid. Scope of authority: the document specifies exactly what powers the agent has the authority can be. Broad: a general POA gives the agent wide range of power to manage the principal's legal and financial matters. Limited: a special POA restrictions the agent to a very specific and defined purpose, such as selling a single piece of property. A non-durable POA ends of the principal becomes an inaccepted or gets deleted, dies. A durable POA remains in effect even if the principal becomes mentally or physically incapacitated. This is why they often use the advanced planning. Activation: POA can take the effect in different ways. Mediate: some POAs are effective as soon as they are signed. Spring: a spring POA only becomes effective upon a specified feature event, such as principal becoming incapacitated. There's general power of attorney, grants the agent broad authority over principals, finances, and property. Durable power of attorney continues to be effective even if the principal becomes incapacitated. This is essential for long-term planning. Limited or special power of attorney grants the agent authority to act only in a very specific situation. Healthcare power of attorney, also called a healthcare proxy document, empowers an agent to make medical decisions for the principal if they are unable to do it themselves. There's also in healthcare, as a proxy document, it empowers an agent to make medical decisions for principal unable to do it themselves. Financial power of attorney, specific grants an agent authority to make financial decisions on behalf of the principal. So it certainly gives a lot of authority over property, over somebody's life or death. It can, if somebody's incapacitated, it's kind of like a successor or an heir, if you will, if I may. So that is what that is, to explain what the power of attorney is. And that's what the daughter had. So that was, an interesting thing for the defense to use. All right. So those are the two trials you're watching, and kind of a summary about what that was about. So we'll see if there's any more trials next week, or we'll be still here regardless. Now, there was about the aliens. What I think about aliens is that, just as something that I talk about sometimes, is there's different theories about them, that they're either, for those that are religious, connected to the fallen watchers. They could be people from, aliens from other planets if they are real, for those that believe in that. Or they could be things from other dimensions, allegedly, or time travelers. So that was something, kind of like a broad sense of the different theories about the aliens over time. And there was this planet that they're now seen to be confirming that there's a ninth or a 10th planet out there that orbits our planet sometimes, that can cause different weather to Earth. That's part of a big conspiracy that they're starting to talk about now. So those are some interesting things to throw out there. In a long time, they said that it was not real, but now they're talking about it like there is real, because we see another point about trials, things that we talk about, is that there are cover-ups that occur, people, defendants, and stuff will do. Then eventually the truth comes out, because I do believe that the truth will set you free, and it does come out. So we talk about eclectic things, a variety of different things here. And Zero is hearing, he says, fights, the turbulence. Okay, now I'm here, and I am hearing things about me and when I'm from. All right, yes, Zero. Zero's been summoned. And yeah, I was talking about you low-key, and it is certainly a nice way to introduce our Zero to the spaceship. I am hearing. Ah, yes. Here. Yes, scared. Sharon, scared. Okay. Something that I want to know is with dogs, which I think that I like cats and dogs. My family has cats, and some of my relatives had dogs, so I was around them sometimes. Now, with the dogs, they're nice to run around with and very good companions. A lot of times we see in the cartoons. Oh, hello, Abby. Welcome to the chat. Good evening. Good to see you. Ah, is it System of the Down or System of a Down? I'd say it's System of a Down. Now, yeah, raise his finger, no cheating. Blast off, it's party time. We are in a spaceship, we are in an alienation. So, with dogs, I always see in these cartoons that they bite on a bone. They always like to eat a bone. So let's figure out where that tradition came from. go this way instead. System of a Down and getting Dirty Hey Girl, Sharon. Yes. And I'm from Civilization. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Arius in the sky. Scared. Now are asking, while dogs frequently chew on animal bones as natural behavior, they also have been involved in cases where they discovered human remains. All right, so let's talk about fascinating, interesting things about dogs and bones. Right, dogs do not feature prominently in the Herbert. Oh, this I have to reset this. All right, so it's interesting. So let's go this way and reset it. Yes, dogs have a long history of chewing on bones, and this is a natural instinctual behavior derived from their wild canine ancestors in the wild. Canines would gnaw on raw bones to extract nutrient rich marrow and clean their teeth after a meal. I'm not from the Society of Insects. Facts. Facts. Um, we're talking about some of the court cases we're reviewing today, and now I'm talking about the interesting facts about dogs. Right. However, not all bones are safe for domestic dogs or chewing on. Pet owners should exercise caution as certain types of bones can pose serious health risks. Domestic dogs' drive to chew bones is an evolutionary holdover from their wolf like ancestors. For these wild canines, bones were not only a food source but also served as several. They chew on bones, we suck on boners. Abby, scared? Served as purpose for survival. Hilarious, Abby. Nutrition. They gnaw on the bones to get their marrow, which is high in fat and calcium and phosphorus, especially during the lean hunting season. Yeah, this reminds me of how cats still scratch on posts or gnaw on things with their teeth. So it seems like an interesting concept that they do. Dental health. The chewing action helped scrap the plaque and tartar off their teeth. Mental stimulation. Figuring out how to access tomorrow and meat was rewarding and engaged activity. Now, danger of unsafe bones. While behavior is natural, many veterinarians and U.S. Food Drug Administration warn against giving certain bones to dogs due to their potential dangers. Cooked bones. These are particularly dangerous because they become brittle and can easily splinter into these sharp fragments, and these shards can cause injuries to the mouth and tongue, punctures in the esophagus, stomach, and intestines. Bones that can be swallowed, small or circular bones, can become lodged in the throat, causing the choking or get stuck around the jaw. So you have to be careful about the type of bones. The safe alternatives. Raw bones, large, raw beef or bison. Recreational bones, such as knuckles or femurs, are less likely to splinter than cooked bones. However, you should still supervise your dog to discard the bone after the short time. Small or heavy duty bones or a durable chewing toy would be healthy and stuff like that. So that's something that I was always curious about with the dog bones, like why they chew them. So, and Sharon says she always thought you should cook them. Yeah, yeah. And the yeah, that's what we would think. And but the cooked bones are actually dangerous because they become brittle and can easily splinter into these sharp fragments and can cause injuries to the mouth and tongue or esophagus. Yeah, right on. Right on. Abs. Contamination. Raw bones can carry bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, which pose a risk both dogs and humans. And I'll talk about some sculptures and stuff in a moment, and seeing what kind of nutrients are in these bones, specifically that these dogs get. All right. So the dogs can get several nutrients from raw bones: calcium, phosphorus, collagen, and fat, and bone marrow and protein. And the rich fat can cause diarrhea or stomach pancreatitis. So there is some cautious measures to take, but that is some interesting facts about dogs, chewing bones, because you always will see that in the movies, and I always would see like at grocery stores these big bones for dogs. So that is just some interesting stuff that I to share with you all about it. Let's see. Some we're talking about paintings and stuff the other day, and Sharon says cleans their teeth too. Yeah. Now, cleaning of the teeth, that's good. So, I think with that, situation, I guess in the wild when they would eat prey, when they were wolves and things like that, they would that's how they would clean their teeth and stuff. So it definitely originates from their, you know, ancient roots. So that's good. It cleans their teeth. Yeah, because I personally didn't know about those things. Okay. Okay, and she said my dog always got constipated for some reason. Now the chewing. Now, for instance, this is about chewing bones. The chewing bones and ingesting bones can cause severe constipation, as the bone fragments can clump together into a solid, hard mass in the intestines. That's if they ingested the bones. And Abby said, "Do you know how much it's gotta suck having a dentist husband? I can only imagine how many oral jokes could be made from the profession and constipation. Poor doggy." Yeah, shout out to the dog. And also saw the Decker might have found that they don't know yet. Coward. But yeah, cowards suck. And thank you, Abby, for sharing that with us. Yeah, the imagine having a dental husband or wife. Yeah, that would be quite hilarious. Sometimes it could have illnesses. It could be dehydration. It can be different nutrients. There's a variety of different reasons why the dogs could have that sometimes. The bones cause constipation in dogs most commonly through the accumulation of ingested bone material in the colon. That's what it would be. Hard, bulky stool, intense blockage, dehydration, rational trauma. Okay, and while raw and cooked bones can both cause constipation, the cooked bones are considered more dangerous. Cooking makes the bones more brittle, prone to splinters and sharp pointy shreds. Right. That's something I didn't know. All right. So those are some interesting facts about the dog bones and about dog chewing that it's best to be, we're real careful with that. And their chew toys are usually the best. All right, so yesterday with Anna, we were talking about the fascination with a lot of the art from the 1400s, the different paintings, how they could survive all these hundreds of years later, and how fascinating that is. So we were going through different ones last night, and also the one of a Claude Monet, which I was him in a play. That's when I was very, very little. So we talked about some of these paintings that were quite interesting. Although we had a Timu connection last night, and tonight we'll see how it goes. I completely reset everything because it needed a little bit of a break from my intense usage that I mentioned last night to Abby. Scared. All the toothpaste jokes Monica could have gone for a dentist but settled for a felon. RSO who looks like Quasimodo now. Hilarious, Abby. That's so true. Facts. Now, this is just something interesting just to see how these things preserved over the courses of time. And now we have things from AI and other methods like that. Yeah, Abby's on to me. She sees me. Intense usage. And I'm laying down the connection. It's scared. The 15th century sculpture, primarily centered in Italy, was a pivotal period of the early Renaissance known as Quattrocento. The sculptures broke away from the stylized medieval Gothic tradition and revived classical ideals of realism, naturalism, and humanism influenced by the Greek-Roman antiquity. Naturalism and realism, artists study the autonomy to create and automatically correct lifelike human figures with naturalistic movement, portions, and realistic expression. Classic influences, sculptures revived classical styles, techniques like contrapposta, relaxed pose with weight shifted to one leg, and themes of the Greek and Roman mythology. Technical innovation, the advanced techniques like the linear perspectives were used to create the illusions of depth rather than relief craving. The ancient lost wax method for bronze casting was also refined along with more detailed, complex figures. All right, humanism, an individual intellectual movement of the human emphasized human achievement leading to a focus on the individual sculptures because famous in their own right and created works with greater psychological intensity, diverse themes, while religious subjects such as Madonna child remained prominent. To rise of powerful patrons like the Medici family fostered secular themes including mythology, allegories, and individual portrait busts. Yeah, so these sculptures were quite difficult to make, and you would have them being chiseled out of marble, different things like that, and it would take them quite a while. I remember I was like Michelangelo did sculptures and Da Vinci did paintings, and they used to have beef with each other over it. the different art stuff. So the type of dramas and stuff that we have on YouTube are still present. It was present back then. The preeminent Florentine sculptures of the period, known for his dramatic realism and groundbreaking classical forms. Right there. And this. See, that's that's one of the sculptures right there. And seeing how these things stood the test of time with the different stuff that they used back then without our modern type of advanced technology. David 1430s. The bronze sculpture was first freestanding. Yes, yes, absolutely. And there's a bronze sculpture of the new David standing equity depicting the Bible hero as contemplative adolescent youth. And then there's the equestrian monument of Gata Melita in 1450, the first bronze equestrian. Hello, mermaid. Great to see you, dear. And shout out to all of you here listening and lurking, hanging out with me. I appreciate all of you. All right, the dentist I have working on my tooth in a few days, pulling it, seems awesome, dude. Was flying room to room in an emergency dental office, pulling teeth in a minute. Oh, well, prayers everything goes well, Miranda. Thank you for the update. All right, so this is the equestrian monument right here, and they haven't had that was since the Roman Empire. So yeah, without any AI or the type of technology we have today, they're able to create these magnificent structures. And Saint Mark 1411 to 1413, a key early work for the niche. Mermaid says, I'm very scared, always scared, had lots of teeth pulled and worked on. Oh, yes, understood. It does sound like a frightening thing. And I thank you for telling us the information. We are here for you, and it's certainly have right to feel that way. It is scary. God is with you. Right. Hope his name isn't Charlie. LOL. Yeah. The master goldsmith and sculptor whose work marked the transition of the Renaissance art style. Gate of Paradise, a gilded bronze relief panels of the east doors of Florence. Bastry depiction of the Old Testament scenes with an unpredicted sense of pictorial space and depth. This is the like from the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, hilarious. That was a good one, Sharon. And yeah, this is the Florence, the famous gates of paradise, and then you have this right here. This is like very artistic. The gold plates, and yeah, I liked it. It was that is very intriguing, very intricate. Lucia della Robbia, famous for pioneering in the use of glazed the terracotta, a durable and more affordable medium than marble or bronze for reliefs. Bambini, 1475, reliefs of swalded infants, facade fondling the hospital in Florence. Yeah, now that was the modern world back then. That was their AI. That was their way of expression. And like for instance, this is one of the paintings, for instance. Like Jesus and his mother, and that these paintings stood the test of time for all those generations ago. Abby said, I feel that's why I like being on Medicaid. Yeah, you'll be great. At least it's getting taken care of better than suffering. Right. And make the dentist get me a prescription to calm me down. Scared. Yes, lots of time on their hands back then. So Michelangelo, for instance, that did the sculptures, he was working. His family were bankers, and they thought it was very low class and trashy for to do sculptures and art. You act so contradictory what we think now. The being an artist or doing making those sculptures were seen as a like a low class thing, but now it's seen as a very high echelon of society. So with these sculptures, they were able to have a lot of time on their hands to express themselves, and they were getting paid to do it as well. So yeah, a lot of time on their hands to discover and perfect the craft and to get that right. So that is very true. And all these years later, hundreds of years later, it's still holding up today, where a lot of people sharing these days in chat don't want to do anything sometimes. Like you have some people that we were talking about earlier that want to blame others and not themselves, the people in the trials that we're watching. And you got people who are doing these things that are, scrolling and scrolling and not really doing anything. So you have those, nothing wrong with scrolling through social media, but the people that are not really contributing to society, these people did. So they definitely have a lot of time in their hands. All right. Mermaid says, OMG, me too, couldn't be happier. I had no idea I still had my Medicare and fortunate. I caught an absence tooth with it early. I just got off the antibiotic from the infection, and now I have the absent tooth I caught before I went wild. So now antibiotics again. Yeah, I am very saddened to hear about that, Abby. I mean, Mermaid. That's unfortunate. Alright, sounds like you acted just in time. Yeah, thank goodness I almost was too late. Well, yeah, I'm glad that you got that taken care of, Sharon. And Sharon said, yeah, I took time this week to go outside instead. Well, you did better than I did, because although I go outside at night, I've been quite involved with doing stuff online, so I'm glad you were able to, I had opportunity to touch grass. Now, with the trial chat groups, I think is productive because we're looking at these cases and studying how this court system works. But you'll have people like on TikTok that are doing nothing productive for anybody or themselves and just doing things that they're not really they shouldn't be doing. But yeah, Sharon, I'm glad that you did that, and I also should do as you did, because I need to certainly do that next week. Well, today I did that, Sharon. Today I did that. I went outside and did some things and I saw family. So today I did stuff. I did other things today. Let's see the Cantoria Scene Gallery of 1431 to 1438. Had stuff on Instagram too much every day. Mermaid says had to shut off Instagram again too much every day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If y'all, including myself, to detox from it would be cool. Yeah, definitely. And for those that do that, I admire that very much. Now he says, "Fuck the court system. My case is about to get really effed up if I say bitches fucked up if I say bitches should have indicted. They should have indicted Abby. I totally agree. Yeah, Sharon, it is very refreshing to go out and get some other things done. But I do think that like what we do with the trial stuff is very good educational, good to socialize with people online. But of course, having a balance is key. And we all have different, like Sharon, we have a lot of stories to tell from experiences we had. There's free Deke, there's crooked Deke, there was, you know, there's Amber Turd, and the other things we saw. So there's also interesting experiences and stories to tell. Like I always tell myself, like I love the experience I had with YouTube. It was really wild, and that's why I tell myself, like anywhere I go or if I like take little breaks from it, like I definitely have more interesting stories to tell than people that didn't experience what we did. So sometimes things just happen for the story. Like anything that happens in life, there's an interesting story to tell about it. Right? And you have these people playing these instruments, like kind of like young people playing instruments. Now, I will say, for them to have the discipline and the vision without the proper technology to do these things is really incredible. Here we're gonna look at some more. Yeah, I don't think Sharon was here yesterday. That's true. Yeah, so many stories and quotes. Yes, Sharon. Bob, my bro, great to see you, buddy. Welcome to the stream. We were talking about some of the court cases earlier, and now we are talking about this some different sculptures from different time periods. All right, and I enjoy the internet, but sometimes the internet can be scared. Sometimes it's good to detox from it. Sometimes everything's good in moderation, except if you're like really want to like create something like really big and you need to like focus on it or work on something. If it's not that, then yeah, it's good to get some to touch grass at times. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this is a very interesting one. Now, I have seen on the YouTubes where people will these people over in Asia, these little people, they get these metal rods and they dig holes and they made a giant water pool fountain thing. Yeah, freedom of speech exercisers. Yeah, facts. Facts. Hello, Joyce. Good evening. Don't Google symptoms. Google will have you thinking you're dying scared. And yeah, it's just people, not that stuff, luckily. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So what they did was they built the ground, like they'll dig a giant hole and they'll put a pool in it and they will build sculptures in it and water slides and water fountains and these all kinds of things just by a giant metal rod and making things out of clay mud. And they'll both of them will work all day long and create these structures, not like you see here, but similar to what you see here. This was built by the Romans, the Europeans, centuries ago, but it's similar to that. Similar to that, though. Joyce, literally, Google only half helps, but oh man, it feels that I was going to be deleted, die. It was probably 2 infections at once. All right, and Joyce, I hope everything's going well with you with fam, work, and everything. I appreciate you. Uh, Good evening to you. Yeah, so Bob said Romans built some cool stuff. Yeah, yeah. Now this was, I said, from the 1400s, and it still stands to this day. You know something about modern architecture is that a lot of times with the modern architecture, they will be it's kind of odd looking to a lot of people, and the classical architecture is pretty cool. Not against anybody's art preferences, but they were trying to make an agenda to take away this type of classical stuff, and I think that wasn't right. And we have buildings that don't last, that will collapse, but these things are still here all these centuries later. Oh, okay, Joyce, I'm glad you're hanging in there. Okay. Right, and then Claude Monet was the water lilies. So for you that were not here yesterday and we have better connection, I'll show you all some of the other paintings that we showed the other night. Bob said somebody probably had 6 in the fountain. Yeah, scared. I showed this yesterday to some of you, but some of you were not here and the connection was terrible. So we are going to show this. This is the haystacks. Now, I was Alicia. Oh, welcome to the stream. Life trucking along all of our balls. Hello, hey Alicia. Stuff created back then still stand. Our engineers built stuff that will never last half as long. Yeah, I will say about that is that you are very true, Sharon. And going back 100 years, going back 100 years, there was over 100 years ago the Titanic that was built. Something interesting about the Titanic is that although it failed and it sunk below the seas and it's in the abyssal trench, that's how deep the Titanic is. It's where you have abyssal fish. It was very, very, very deep down, like it's where no light is. So where Titanic is, the pulley system. Caraville, my friend, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. And the situation that occurred in that context was that there is a yeah, go Knowles. Yeah, facts, Alicia. There's a pulley system that they use to with a metal wire that to pull things and stuff on the ship. And Sharon, they tested it out and it still works underwater. The pulley system on Titanic, without any WD-40, without any kind of maintenance over 100 years, and I will add, underwater for all that time, mechanisms in there still work. Like you could pull something and the levers still work, and they built it like a tank. It sunk and it sucks, but they still built a strong ship in spite of it sinking. And Caravel said, yeah, they don't want stuff to last that long anymore. They want stuff to break and have to be replaced sooner. And what happened was, yeah, and I'll explain about the Titanic is that the Titanic, I will say something very bold, and listen closely because it sounds ridiculous. The Titanic was unsinkable, but it was not invincible. So what that means is, a lot of situations the Titanic would have likely not have been easy to sink, unless if you break, something, you could shoot a rocket at it and it'll probably sink over a couple of times. But the reason why Titanic went down was they're trying to miss the iceberg, and I will say, happens everywhere on YouTube, anywhere. You could always say hindsight 2020. We all have things we could regret, things we could have done differently. I remember I was talking to a random dude that subscribed to me a year or two ago that was an oil rig. He worked on an oil rig and some horrible thing happened. And sometimes things happen like that. And my love sank the Titanic. Torpedo that bitch. Abby, there's conspiracies about that, and scared. And so what happened was they're trying to miss the iceberg. Careful, I'll look it up to make sure to check it, so we can get the right answer. But from my recollection, what happened was with Titanic, they were trying to miss the iceberg when the Titanic was designed to hit an iceberg. It was like an icebreaker ship. So if it hit an iceberg, only 2 flood compartments would have been breached. And the rest of it would have been fine, allegedly. Yeah, Lusitania was torpedoed. I remember when I was on a Titanic. Oh, Joyce, yeah. I'm giving you flashbacks about that. And you got in your lifeboat and they lowered you, and you're watching the other people in the boat. Yeah, I mean, you saw, and you and the others weren't too sure if it broke up or if it went down straight. It was kind of hard to tell. And the thing is they closed the flood compartment doors, but it was a domino effect happened, and it went down too much where it keeps going down, and then it has its big arse up in the air. And then it cracks at some point, and then it slips underwater. Oh, the Love Boat. I know about that, Bob. Yes, Careful, correct. The side swipe caused it to open a bunch of compartments, and it was like dot dot dash, dot dot dash, dot dot dash. It was like Morse code. But it was so much of it, all that compound interest of water caused it to go downhill. So it could have survived if it hit it head on, or if 4 were even hit, or 3. But 5, it's not too good. And I remember that, Joyce, because you're on the lifeboat, then you jumped back on the ship. I remember that part. And she says, I felt bad that I let Jack hanging, but that diamond has paid off. Thanks, Jack. Well, yeah, shout out to Jack. If he was truly a trooper, and Joyce is set for life. Facts. Oh, hello, G. Good evening. Welcome to the chat. Instead of saying you are the blue diamond, figured the link to most precious gemstone. Oh, thank you. All right, you too as well, G. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go to this link, and let's see what G has for us on deck. All right. Let's copy this. All right, so this is. Thank you for the compliment, G. Thank you for the links. The Wolfenite and Mime Tight. Alright, so this is a beautiful... It looks like from another planet. See if y'all can see this because I have sometimes my picture in the way. So, alright, so this, very beautiful. You are looking at a very idiosyncratic, unique diamond, a gem rather. It is gemstone. The Wolfenite and Mime Tide, right there. It looks like a bunch of mirrors and geometric shapes formed together. Like I said earlier, sister ship Britannic sunk too, but only deaths related were completely avoidable. That is true. That is true. And the thing is with that situation is with the Britannic, that's the ship that their flight compartments failed to drop. And like Caravel was talking about, and that's what caused it to go underwater. The most expensive is the Blue Diamond, sold for $57.5 million, I believe. Oh, okay, thank you. Silver. So you have this right here. It looks like a very interesting thing from a fairy tale. It looks like an Alice in Wonderland tree, and that's all silver. Yeah, certainly it is windows on the rock. I like that, Abby. That's a very good saying. Windows on the Rock. That would be a pretty cool song. You see, that's what I appreciate about the teamwork. Naturally formed silver tree. And I think silver is a very valuable metal. It's undervalued. Not saying it's as valuable as gold, but it certainly is a valuable metal. And although it's very cheap right now, and it's still valuable either way. But yeah, that's a very nice metal of silver. This is like something from Star Wars. Alright, the Hersenite. Well, that's something truly alien. You have this very unique, mesmerizing triangle with purple and blue hues with aqua. And dark purple, definitely. The Iris Agate. Oh, this is very intriguing. So you'll have a lot of times these type of slabs. And looks like it's God pooping on you. Looks like an alien brought it from his home planet. Yeah, that's true. Peeping at you. Looks like God peeping at you. Oh yeah, that's a nice way to say it. A god peeping at you, yes. Alright, Iris Agate, right there. So, this looks like a piece of film. Like, y'all... Although I was very... I was a young kid. Y'all remember where y'all had CDs and DVDs. A lot of... Abby's hilarious. A lot of film and DVDs and CDs look like that. So that's a very interesting way it was etched on there by God. And it reminds me of that type of material that they used for the old movies and stuff. God pooping, honestly, I feel it. He's absolutely shitting on me. Abby, scared. Tourmaline with lepidolite. Oh, this is really cool. You know what this is like? Oh, wow. This is something intriguing. Joyce said it looks like something you would see if you were tripping. G said, Equisitite, right? Equisitate, right? I just want to know what people do for a living that lands them the 57 million asking for a friend or Ahim, a relative of Joyce and mine. Hilarious. Facts. That was very funny. All right, so this looks like something trippy. All right, it looks like a ruby mountain protruding out so tall. Except the white part. Yeah. And you can see it looks like a cluster of, the cluster of purple clouds and like a geode. So like purple clouds and then this giant ruby mountain on the top. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the chat. Good evening. I always appreciate you here and listening for a bit. Not feeling well, but I don't want to be trolling a group. Okay, Anna, understood. Thank you. And prayers hoping that you feel better. And thank you for lurking. And so we have that right here. And the Aquamarine. Aquamarine is a movie I saw in 2006. Some of y'all might have seen it too. I was, about, I don't know, 10. I don't know. I have to look that up. But it was a movie from when I was like 9. All right, so whoa. Careful says also FYI. Looks like Court TV secured the feed for Karen Reed's civil trial start next week. Scared. Oh Lord. Okay, Aquamarine. So Aquamarine is a movie I saw around 2000. I was like, I don't know, 9 years old. So in this situation, it looks like it's a transparent, elucid, giant stone, and it has beautiful aquamarine in it as the color. And it has layers like a tower, or a building, or a temple. And that is so cool where you climb up to different floors. So it's like a house, even, if I may, where you have all these different constructions in there, and you have these different dark aquamarine layers in it where you could go in there. And it lights itself up. That is extremely intriguing. It almost looks like a tooth from a gem. Almost like blown glass. Yes. Yeah, that is a cool rock. It is beautiful indeed. Yeah. This is rutile. Yeah, I know, right? This reminds me of Inception and The Great Gatsby, which were The Great Gatsby. I saw the original one, and that was a very good movie. And I'm also referring to, a little more specifically, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and the type of designs they had, the Great Gatsby. So this is so cool, and also it's like Inception, the dream within a dream. That's what it reminds me of. G said, "I always find these things that are rare and precious, and enter chat, always calling Alien Spaceship one of them." Yes, you do, G, and I also always love to return the favor to you. And thank you, G, so much for your kindness. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you for being here. I want to thank you all for lurking, watching, listening. A shout out to all of you. And make a great team. Thank you. It's a death trap. Yes, G, I saved the link. Thank you for reminding me. All right, the Hezonite Garnet. This is very idiosyncratic right here. A very idiosyncratic gem, which means that it's very unique, and because it has its own little theme to it, as it's besides all the other gems, it has its own theme. So it's a triangle within a triangle within a triangle. I'm lurking like a turkey here, listening and bathing the dogs. Oh, okay, Alicia, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for letting us know. Joyce, it looks like someone broke into the safe to take these pictures. Oh, look at this, all natural. Yeah, so the geometric lines are just mesmerizing. You have the squares, 4 squares, you have triangles. So it's a geometric paradise. You have a triangle and a square within a square within a square from all different angles. You could say there's all kinds of adjacent lines and all congruent and all that to be precise. In my opinion, God's great creation, that this meticulous, precise way of forming rock is extremely incredible. All right, G said, I know Joyce, right? Stop saying you, it's ours. Our daddy left it for us. Hello, yeah. All right. Oh, this looks like a colorful snail shell right here. It's a rich snail. The ammonite. G said, as your older sister, I give them all to you, but you can give one back to me. I think one is good enough to carry me through the next 30, 40 years, LO. Yes, absolutely, G. I will certainly do that. Do you all think that guy really has an alien in that safe that keeps posting videos about it? I actually do. I actually do. Scared. Because I have intelligence from other down the hallway in the spaceship. There's alien intelligence. It can detect a signal, like a sonar signal from the safe. From that, it could be alien in there. Use your daddy issues to your advantage, taking notes. Hilarious. All right, and this is the snail shell, thin-looking gem. And it looks like a piece of art, definitely. It looks like tie-dye. When I used to do school plays when I was little, they would have us do tie-dye. And that's what it reminds you of, definitely. And we have this right here. We have, oh, Joyce. Yeah, shout out to Joyce. Very generous. Very generous indeed. Chrysolaka. No, Shry Sol. No, Shry Sokola. Scared. And this one is extremely undulating. It reminds me of the sea. You know what it reminds you of? It reminds you of an island in the Caribbean, like where Captain Jack is, and where he would sail on those seas and be on those islands. That's what it certainly reminds you of. And you have all the different spots and the different parts. And then you have like a volcano there. So the blues are just mesmerizing, all different layers of blue. She said, Alien, keep going, Alien. Joyce, the more he goes, the happier I am, smiling. Look how wealthy we are, sis. Should we book a flight to South France? Facts. Oh, I love blue. That is how half the final low. Yes. It looks like mold in the Caribbean. Yeah, it looks like the mold over there. And it looks like a Hurricane Katrina mold piece. That's what it also looks like. And like that was on the walls in these houses during that time. And 20 years ago, the floodwaters would have subsided by now, but it would have been a big mess. Yeah, maybe Johnny knows. Maybe it's in his jar of dirt. All right, the image source of the aquamarine is a piece of approximately called named the helix. All right, and this ammonite is a rare fossil shell that shows rainbow color iridescent reflection. The chai scolia is a blue-green material often found with other copper-rich materials, such as the malachite and azurite, and is beautiful piece shows a combination of trisolica and malachite. Oh, hello, Moki. Good evening to you. Opal. This is very fascinating. Very, very fascinating indeed. We have this rock that looks like it's secreting blue and purple seas. You know, like lava, blue and purple lava. And with this blue and purple lava, it has like stars and constellations in it. It is so fascinating. It's actually like watching another dimension, like heading into the other dimension, and the matrix collapsing. That's what it also reminds you of. That is extremely incredible. Red Brile. All right, this looks like a ruby mountain. And but it's attached to another mountain with more sandy rocks. And then it goes up along and it makes this type of shape. The red beryl is one of the rarest gems in the world, much rarer than its mineral family members emerald and aquarium. A red beryl gem can cost 10 grand per carat. Shout out to you, Moki. It's always great to see you. All right, and this is the emerald. All right, so with this emerald, we have this very. It reminds me of the. Reminds me of what you would. How you would say the. It reminds me of an ice. I'm trying to think of the word. It reminds me of a snowball color of snowballs. And it reminds me of ice. Like an artistic ice field where you would have a glacier. And G and I have talked about glaciers before on the show. and the Titanic. And with the glaciers, we have snow kind of covering it, and you never know. Like there could be a wizard or some mysterious castle there that somebody is, one of them is living in the cold winter lands. Or it could be a tropical place, a tropical sanctuary, like an Aquaman, like where Amber Heard was in that movie, but we'll take her kind of out of the movie. But it's like an Aquaman, like a portal into the Aqua dimension. So there's all kinds of ways that this can be interpreted. ICE is recruiting. All right. Limonite after Marcus Marcasite. All right. This is that's quite incredible. This is something very. This reminds me of Transformers, where you have like the cube. It kind of reminds you of that. It's something that comes off an alien. Certainly, if that certainly looks like it's from space. All right, and they have Hai Yuan, Hey Yuan. I probably pronounced that wrong. And that is a German word, by the way. You see, this is very interesting. It is the blue sparkles in the sky at night. And we have this right here. We have these nice blue diamonds that are undulating. Okay, and all right, and we see this and chat saying Joyce and GSI, when you grow up living paycheck to paycheck, you develop that mentality, I guess. And G said, Appster, Joyce, and I came into a lot of money now, so we can share. Well, I can share my part. I don't want to speak for my sister. Yes. And Joyce, I live check to check, still have the nice taste. LMAO. Yeah, now I will say this. Now, for instance, people can be not from, certain groups. Let's say certain say they can't afford a certain thing, but it doesn't mean that they like a certain style. Like you can like the the style of the certain, like we were talking about the Roman architecture, and a lot of this stuff is based off of Rome and France and Italy, and people of all walks of life admire those things. And in our modern era, we're not in the old times anymore. In the modern era, there could still be people that were around European architecture or European types of influence. Like my city, for instance, is very European centric. People of all classes enjoy these types of restaurants and things that she's referring to. All people. So I do think it has to do with partially with the where you do grow up in, like what part of the country you're in. So yeah, no, of course, like those tastes are very good, but not everybody may like those things. People might like more simplistic uh, lifestyle where you wouldn't have the, like, kind of sitting on the farm, or a nice relaxed country setting, or a fancy city, or a busy city, or a not so busy city. It just depends. Yeah. So I definitely think, like, if, like, to me, for instance, I would treat all of you to that. And it's a style that you all would certainly enjoy. And even if it's something that you may have not thought about before, it would still be, I think, great for everybody to experience things like that as well. And Joy said, "You can't change liking nice things. My mom used to make our things out of fabric, sew them by hand. Even if they were affordable, they were very elegant. Money can't buy classes." And G says, "The thing is, Europe back in the day, my mom tells me of stories. No woman would ever wear sneakers, nor kids. We always had like Mary Jane's. It was just how it was in Europe based." Yeah, now my city's very European oriented. And now back in the 50s in America, women wore dresses and men wore suits. Mary Toodles, for instance, always dresses up when she goes somewhere. Joy said, "Is Moki cleaning the cat boxes again?" Scared. Shout out to Moki if she's lurking or how to do something else. We'll see. Shout out to her. And yeah, today it's very different everywhere. Yeah, so for instance, Mary Toodles likes to dress up because she likes the old-fashioned style. Back in the '60s, people would. If 60s and things started to change, but say the Twilight Zone show, like people dressed differently back then. And although people, of course, a lot of us may or be check to check, and I understand what that's like. So at the same time, the if possible, when this situation we're all learning, we're all here to learn. We are discussing these things about Europe and different architecture and the different types of streets and food and stuff that they'll have in Paris and things of that nature. And it's just something interesting to ponder because I believe that whatever you put your mind to can be done, in my opinion. And that is a mindset that I have, works for me at least, but nothing comes easy. So it's just something quite interesting to learn about that we wanted to share with all of you. And it's very nice for G to treat her sister Joyce after all this treasure that we have on the spaceship now, that we're able to do these things. So yes, G very excellent as usual with chat, and all of you are excellent as well. Make a great team. And yeah, shout out to Mary T. Same, just buy food. And Joyce said, "Honey, I can't, so I crochet and cross stitch, but other than that, it is best to wear a potato sacks." Oh, understood. I know the struggles. And you crochet. That is very talented. My Mary Toodle's aunt crochets things. She crocheted things for my stuffed animals and stuff. So and made stuffed animals for me. So that is a very great talent, and I admire that very much. Now I went to a restaurant in my city that anybody can go to. Anybody can go to. That was called Galatoire's, and everybody had to wear a suit. It was a mandatory dress code, and they had lots of French food there. So it was very good. As I said, all people, all walks of life go there. So but my city was very European centric because of Spain and France. Most of the country isn't like that because it was just more English. Not that it's anything of a lower standard, not at all. It was more English. The rest of America is like England, but where I am is like France and Spain. So I kind of understand where G's coming from, where it was just a different type of style and theme. Like that, my house is like a Caribbean house. It looks like something from the pirate game that I played. It was just different regions of the world. Bob said they beer on the tap in a McDonald's in France. Yes, yes. And G said, "Alien, I want to show you what my daughter made the Titanic Wonder Woman for my sister's B-Day in July. Is there a way to put it that here? I want to see Joyce's." Yeah, anybody can email me a picture. Anybody can email me a picture if they would like, and I could show it on the screen. And G said, "My mom tells me stories. If you see my mom's picture, she is like a combo of Sophia Loren. So back then, they all literally wore those long gloves, elegant hairdo, up like movie stars." Oh, interesting. Joyce said, I didn't take any pictures, lol. I just do it for grandkids or if I get bored. I should have looked. We got there so late one night. That's the only non restaurant we went to, but in their food is 100% different. You never ever get sick there with their food. Much better. Same, just buy food. Understood. All right. All right, this is gold. This gold is very unique. It has so much different designs in it and layers. It's like a building with a bunch of layers in it from the side. It is truly intriguing. And G said, Alien, I am talking about McDonald's in France. Bob was mentioning, but I didn't see beer, darn it, LL. Oh, I didn't know about beer at McDonald's in France. And the thing about McDonald's in different countries, over in Japan, the McDonald's serves also healthy food and Japanese stuff. And other countries, they sell beer and different things. Yeah, and McDonald's in different countries sells different things than the ones here. Now, McDonald's personally, coincidentally, my grandma went there. My grandpa went there today. The they they had this situation where the French fries are very good. French fries are very good at McDonald's, and the smell of it's nice. But I've not been to McDonald's in other countries, but I know that the other countries serve different things they do here. Thank you, G, for the explanation. Yeah, G said 100% Alien. Fast food in Europe and Asia countries is very different. It's made with better ingredients. This was in the 80s when I was in France, maybe different now. Oh, okay, Bob. Understood. Understood. Well, thank you, Bob, for sharing chat. I never knew that, but I knew in Europe and Asia, their McDonald's are very different than ours. Beer tap at Mickey D's. Lord help France if I show up. Joyce said, I legit want to move to Italy. That is my life goal, lol. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have some friends who went to school with that went to Italy on a trip. I'm I'm part Italian. My ancestors haven't been in Italy in a couple of hundred years on my mom's side, but my family in England are related to Italy more recently. I'm a mixture of different things from England. So yeah, Italy's very beautiful. They're very beautiful. And the wine, oh Joyce, the wine is is just phenomenal over there from what I hear. And I said my ex, she loved Italy when she went one time, and they didn't have air conditioning when she went, and the ceilings are very big. Like there's a very big building with it goes high up, and there's a fans way at the top, and it's very long, and there's no air conditioning. Oh, they probably have air conditionings now, but over that time there was no air conditioning, and it just wasn't needed then. So it was something interesting to know about. Yeah, so it was very, from what I hear, it's very nice. My best friend since 21, we'd say, was going our goal and dream. We talk weekly, and she's like, when is this happening? Oh, well. G said, Italy is the most beautiful country where you never tire of it. I went to 25 between BW and France, where I have family there. Family, then Italy, 5 weeks altogether. Entire coast was plain food, all maybe for 2K. Lori Vallow is a witch. She just misses being relevant, which was she never was. Yeah, hilarious. Wonder if the Cosmic D's are going to invite those their menu. Wondering why they haven't made those shores. Oh yeah, for other things. Wink, wink. I get you, Joyce. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a blast with all that over there. Yes. All right. Yeah. So very interesting piece of gold. Very interesting piece of gold. and the purple fluorite with calcite. Today that strip is probably like 25 grand probably. Oh, this is very cool. This is like a trippy tie-dye right here with a purple and light purple and white. That's really cool right there. It looks like a piece of art. Abby said, I want to meet the rest of my relatives in Greece before I found out how my Greek family affords their lifestyle, talking home costing millions, meanwhile about to be homeless again. Yeah, shout out to the Greeks. And yeah, I at some point in the future I hope that I believe you will find the answers that you are seeking and see that place one day. Oh yeah, I'm making Joyce richer. Yeah, definitely. With our plunder, arg. All right, so that in many different spots. All right. Oh, and this is the most. This is the Grinch right here. The Moldavite from Italy, not from Italy, but from the Grinch in Italy. And Abby, that is unfortunate. You are beautifully, wonderfully made, like these wonderful gems that we're seeing on screen. So, you know, F the haters. And then Abby says something better that it's just glorified moss. It's a glorified moss, a glorified fern, and you have this beautiful undulating piece of moss fern and full of grass. Looks like and it's certainly the Grinch or the glorified moss or fern, definitely. G says, Apster, you never told me my daughter's boyfriend is Greek. They just went to Cyprus. He wanted her to meet his grandmother in Greece for a week. She's working, so more power to her. Okay, going over this way. I'm going to show some more. The Chrome Tourmaline. Ooh, that's very nice. That's emerald right there. Abby is beautiful. That's true. That's true. Yeah, so this is emerald. This is emerald overdose right here. Certainly an emerald overdose. All right, and this is Angelus Angel Site. Oh, this is certainly an angel stone. This is the angel stone, and it is completely amazing how it's like a piece of gold just protruding from a rock. Yes, thank you, G. That is true. That is true. It's truly coming from the rock. Protruding from the rock, and most valuable metal, as the gold sits there and mesmerize. And you see the stone, and then all the gold and yellow. It looks like amber. It looks like not amber heard, but an amber of where like a bug is trapped in. Oh dear, this is very nice. This looks like a piece of watermelon. I had to say it. All right, ruby zoisite, zoisite, and in this zoisite, the the green is very nice and almost like cotton candy looking. And then you have a nice ruby pink in the center. G said, when you come from those countries, Appster, so you know what I mean about pure elegance and class. It's not a matter of being a snob, it's our cultures. Then you come here and you become a nothing. Abby said, my name ends with Akas. G, and I know exactly what phrase you're trying to say because my father would always curse in Greek and would say that Malachi. Oh yeah, that's true. And Popeyes is one of my favorites, by the way, and that's still going strong. But definitely, Bob. For instance, in McDonald's, they don't have the Hamburglar anymore. They don't have the Hamburglar, and they don't have Ronald McDonald anymore. Joyce said, "My last name is German, so you can't imagine all the Hitler comments I get." Well, Joyce, I also can relate to what you're talking about with myself as well because my whole name's German, so I know the struggles you're talking about. I've even been told before that I look like the mustache man himself. I've been told that before, so it's yeah. But the Germans are a very hardworking people, very noble people. Although the incident that occurred does not define them, they in other ways have done lots of great contributions to art, resilience, and to their determination of society. Yeah, it sucks, Bob. Yeah. Oh, hello, Shecky, dude. Good to see you. Now, Joyce prefers KFC over Popeyes. I like KFC too. That's very cool. Now, the thing about Popeyes, it has magical something that magical seasoning to it. It's just something about it, kind of like a there's some voodoo on it or something. But certainly, I like the KFC. I have good stories about that. So it was like November after I graduated school, like months later, and I got some KFC after a long time, and I watched this stupid thing on YouTube where they had this stupid game that they had, and it was like you can go off the map, you could go into a wall and drive through, and looking at some of the movie reviews. Yeah, so that I was hanging out with some friends. So I have good memories of KFC. Shout out to KFC. That's cool, and I like the bucket. Yeah, that's extraordinary. Joyce, Hitler comments, hell no. Hit her up comment, hell yes. Wait, who banned the hamburger? Yes, Alien. KFC I had 35 years ago. We had Pudgies in the 90s. Anyone know that? It's a New York thing, bankrupt for decades now. I have never heard of that in my life. So, that is something intriguing to me. Oh, it's not a fan. Oh, I knew the person. I was neighbors with a person that helped the helped Al Copeland create Popeyes. So I know somebody that like helped like create it, and so it was from my city. So I like it, and I have a special place for it, but it's not for everybody. Now, Joyce, I want to know if I may ask, what about Popeyes did you not like? I'm just curious because I think that the criticism is important to know. If you want to say it, you don't have to. But different tastes for everybody. And I do like KFC. I like how they have a big bucket and they have a lot of chicken in there. And BK and Arby's is my absolute fave. Yes, yes. And Hiller comments, wait, who banned the Hamburglar? Oh yeah, the Hamburglar went out because the McDonald's now has a different system. McDonald's has a thing where you have, it looks like a nature like salad place now. And it has like these terminals you can order stuff in. And it is very important to know the other situations, because it used to be Ronald McDonald, but now they don't have that stuff anymore. Oh, that's nice to know, Abby. I'm glad you're enjoying the chat. Arby's is mostly gone here. There's only near me by a gas station. No thanks, but used to be yummy. Did y'all ever go to Outback Steakhouse, if that's what the name of it is, that Australian place? I'm just curious. McDonald's for fries. I like Burger King fries. But I love McDonald's fries too. I like McDonald's fries too, but the Burger King certainly is quite good. And G said Wendy's for nuggets. Now, the thing about McDonald's is their ice cream is delicious and their coffee. Okay, Joyce says Popeyes to me doesn't have the right seasoning. They put more black pepper to me. That is all you taste. They are going for more soul food audience. Okay. And you are in Louisiana, so it makes more sense to you. Okay, Joyce, thank you for telling me why. Okay, understood. One day, the Judy didn't like Popeyes because of the biscuits were more dry, when Church's chicken has more flavor to it. It's less dry. It's more flavored to it, and you get more of them. So that was something that Judy said. So I appreciate the commentary about it. Abby said, "Oh, fuck Popeye's chicken sandwich. Makes me nut." My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Stick that juicy ass in this face hole. Yeah, I like all Popeyes, but of course I think that anything can improve possibly. So I will certainly I like to hear what other people have to say about it. But yes, I always thought the Popeyes biscuits were very iconic. And they're a very unique taste. Yes, I love Popeyes. I love all of it. But of course, anything can be, you could have different dishes. You could have different things in conjunction with that. So I think that a team is good ideas coming together. So that's why I like to hear the different opinions about things. And I'm glad that G, you like the Popeyes biscuits. And G said, how can you go to Popeyes when you are in the hub of these flavors at a mom and pop homemade place? Now, the reason why, G, is because I have a big appetite, and the city has a big appetite, so we just have an endless buffet of all these different places to go. I'm serious, G, and hear me out. I can explain. There's something called Lucky Jean, and it is by the Vietnamese, the Asians, some Asian group, probably Vietnamese. And they have a lot of nice seafood and fish and different things like that. And there's other oyster places that you speak of that have that, the type of restaurant you're referring to. And I love to eat that too. And they're, I think, the best of all the different ones that you could go to. So we just have like an endless buffet here. And that is certainly quite delicious. And but those, the mom and pop homemade place is the best, I have to say. Been off her day pills for a couple of days, so I'm more to handle. Love it and write a complete complaint like a boss. Facts. G said, "That's what I mean. You have amazing food there. Why ever go to a chain when you have amazing food there? One of the best I've ever heard." Yeah, and my aunt said the same thing. And you see, another reason about that, G, is about Popeyes, as I said, was native to the city and something special to me. But I grew up having all those foods so much that I was just like, it reversed itself, which I eat both, and the mom and pop places are the best. But I will say, when you have that type of stuff all the time, it reverses itself where the Popeyes, not Popeyes, but when the McDonald's and these different places become exotic to you, it like reverses itself. But of course, I have to say that the mom and pop places and the unique food we have here is the best of all those different places. But sometimes the other places are nice to have too. At the same time, nothing can beat the food that is native to the city. And as I said, for instance, the gumbo that I tell you all about that I've eaten, my neighbors have made, that is the best food I've ever tasted in my life. All right? It's all kinds of flavors and stuff, and I learned so much about cooking and things like that from them. And we have the pralines. We have the pralines too. And those are these cute little snacks that you could get delicious. So I will say, G, that you are absolutely correct. And those are the best. At the same time, sometimes the other places are good to have in moderation as well. Bob said, "I grew up starving. My mom was drunk." Scared. We went from rocks to fast food. We all need medication. Scared. We got the food because the captain of the ship led us the food. It is Alien Spaceship took an interest in that conversation, so we continued it. This is why we have an eclectic stream. Certainly. Now, speaking of food, the U-class on calcite, that looks like rice. Tell me if I'm wrong. That looks like rice in the background. It looks like a rice gem. And you have a giant stone. A giant blue stone is the blue sky. It looks like a blue sky with clouds. And the blue sky streaks through the mountain of clouds. It does look like sushi. Oh, yes. Yes. Our kids are baking. Hubby brought daughter home from school now. Both of them are baking. Ah, oh, good to hear. Oh, we got rainbow obsidian. My father had struggles with that too, Joyce. What you're referring to, yes. So, yeah, struggle is real. Now, this is something incredible. This looks like a 1400s art piece where Anna and I were talking yesterday about the different artistic paintings that were around. And it also looks kind of like a 90s graffiti and cartoon. Kind of looks like that a little bit as well. Okay. And oh, okay. I didn't do that right. Both my daughters, not hubby, but he can boil water for tea. Well, shout out to your daughters. They sound very, very talented. Hello, Frog. Good to see you. Ah, hilarious, Frog. Hilarious. All right. Obsidian is actually a volcanic glass forming when lava cools quickly. The stone color is black and it has colorful reflections. Rainbow obsidian. The golden obsidians are very desirable as they produce a rainbow colored and gold colored sheen, respectively, caused by microscopic inclusions of crystal, gas, or debris. You have the Dumortierite in quartz. This looks like a crystal. This certainly looks like a crystal with a bunch of sea sea urchins or coral reefs inside of it. Very fascinating. Joyce, we can afford the nail tech comes our home. Don't forget, we're a little orphan Annie now. Oh, yes. Who thought it was a good idea to ban Hamburglar bitch ban Wendy? She likes to get smart. Facts. And he also banned Ronald McDonald. Yeah, free the Hamburglar. Gee, I went to Wendy's, a long time ago, and with Wendy's, there was this situation that happened where it was the re-release of E.T. and I got the what you would call a toy from there that had to do with it. I remember when that was coming out. It was a re-release of E.T. It was in 2002. I remember that. So I remember they were saying E.T. came out in '82. I'm like, whoa. I remember when that was happening, so it was I a time traveler, but it was actually a situation where they re-released it. Wendy's is very rich. She could buy and sell any one of us. Scared. Some guy in America was diagnosed with cancer there in the Isle of Greece. He went to know his miracle island. He lived over 100 cursed nomads. Cured nomads. Oh, you loved E.T. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I saw it, or the re-release of it. Yeah. Osmium. Alright, this is some osmium. It sounds like a type of drug. She can buy me, my sisters, my mother, my friends, etc. Facts. Abby said, Sheila. Dollar menu non existent. Even Dollar Tree went rogue. Joyce said, I am sure if I move to Italy, I will live longer. May start a GoFundMe just for that. Now, right on. This looks like the Sea of Glass. Certainly. This looks like a Sea of Glass. And it's like you could look at it, but there's no reflection. All right. And Willow Opal. All right. So this is the Willow Opal. This looks like a lava lamp right here. So in this situation, you have it looks like a fire, and sparkling green and glowing undulations, and then you have all these different colors, like a party's going on inside of it. Yeah, it's certainly stunning. Yes. That's element 115. Thank you, Bob, for information. G said, well, the girls came down with these chocolate chip cookies next to shortbread cookies. Yeah, this healthy recipe is nasty. Scared. Scared. They got mad at me and said, Mom, seriously, you gave us this healthy recipe with almond flour taste. Like, not a real cookie, LMAO. Scared. Rainbow fluorite. It got 5 stars on YouTube. Now, okay, so this is another tie-dye right here. Wow. That is a bunch of geometric formations of squares. That is just like, I could hear the ambient sound effects with that. They are making faces and I am just laughing, but good thing is hubby is on his 5th one. He's cheering me on laughing. Yeah, this is something certainly alien. Elena S. Scared. And then you have this blue green right there, and you have these things, completely in squares. So it's completely in squares. All right, continuing. The fluorite, the fluorite is a colorful gemstone and multicolored fluorite. Like this has always been a collector's favorite. Oh, a fluorine specimen like this is very expensive. A colorful natural fluorite bracelet is affordable. This chick claims to have 16 to 17 traumatic brain injuries. Not kidding, hun. If you more struggle with function, meanwhile, she can hang upside down and function. After 50% of restaurants near me are Greek owned. One of them is half Armenian. Other is all Korean or Japanese food. This looks like a moldy lava sea with some galaxies in it. And it looks like a bunch of paint was painted upon the canvas. Certainly. Choice, I've done that. Have nettle chocolate chips and more flavors. Nice. Nice. Have Golameno. Best soup. Oh, it's very delicious. Very delicious indeed. The Furbia swirls of blue and orange are some of the most beautiful artworks from nature. The effect, see, persist, is known as Chat O Yalance, which also happens to in gems like Tiger's Eye. That's so cool. Definitely. The Goethite. And yeah, this is really cool. This looks like a bunch of minnows. This looks like a bunch of like clownfish, but green, and they're glowing. That's a geothite. Yeah, that looks like a bunch of cells, a bunch of eyes. Also, very cool. Moki is back on X. Need to give her a time limit. Scared. Or yeah, this is like Alice in Wonderland. Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah, definitely. And after you guys are taking over the world, every owner is Greek here. Keep saying, but we are one. But they won't adopt me, LMAO. They just took it down, trying to find the link. It LMAO just adopt my last name, and you're part of us, girl. Facts, facts. Quartz with hematite, pagoite, and edgioite, and kalonite. This looks like a popsicle. And it has this blue white hues inside of it. These blue white hues inside of it. And then it's like red. So you have like this different yin yang here between the blue and white and then the red. This looks like a crystal ball. Certainly from like a wizard's crystal ball. Joyce said the bomb popsicles. Yeah, they're the bomb popsicles, definitely. White lightning. Moki said, "Okay, paying attention now. Sorry, cat boxes and whatnot." I need that in my life, hello. Yeah. All right, so this is what we're referring to before. Is this is the bomb popsicle right here? Looks like a holo, like the type of, looks like a holocrox from Harry Potter. It could be something like that, and also it looks like the stone, the gem they would use in Star Wars to energize a lightsaber. All right, so full fulgurite. This is a wizard's gem, a wizard's ball. G said that looks like a bomb ice creams on trucks. All right, and So the ball needs to shave a little. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, because that's the it needs to shave. It's the wizard's all-seeing. It's the crystal ball where they see all the future. Loki said, "Joyce, and you weren't wrong about X. My mom told me to stay off the internet." Yeah, Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's after Dragon Ball Z. Chow Kenthite. Mermaid says, "Man, I've been sick forever, getting symptoms all over again with the antibiotics. It sucks." Yeah, Miranda, it really sucks that all over again you have to deal with that. That is a lot of. It's a Sheen Timu time, definitely. So I'm praying for you, Miranda. Miranda, yeah, that works. And this like a tsunami. Yes, this is certainly a tsunami. A wave perfectly kept in time just for the mineral. So yeah, this is the wave, and it's a wave frozen. It looks like something a superhero did, like an action hero did, and they froze it in time to have it look like that. Yes, yes, and I'll look forward to that, Mermaid, when you do those again. And yeah, the uh, definitely pulling for you. That is really like a tedious situation. It's like one thing after another. It's a shape of an AC from my favorite cunt. Scared. That's tsunami. That's your sissy. Oh, sissy. Yeah, because there's another word for sissy that's kind of like a soy boy. Lori value. Lori value. Yeah, perfect with golden touches. I like the golden freckles in it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like glitter. Yeah, Lori Vallow. Scared. It looks kind of like Van Gogh's painting. Sort of looks like Van Gogh. You know, his type of painting that he would do. Dendritic agate. Scared. Mermaid. Scared. Yeah, so, you know, enjoying the moment is good because I understand that it's an anxious situation and it's all going to be all right, but I understand your anxieties about it. And you'll be nice and healthy in no time, in my opinion, knock on wood, of course. I wish you best of luck and health. It will be scared, but also worth it when it's out. Full case of cardiac arrest. Enjoy the ride. Red Bull gives you. Red Bull gives you wings. That's a slogan that you'd probably hear from like Family Guy or something. That was great. Abs. Scared. I know. I asked myself this question. You know what this looks like? This looks like a Japanese picture of a dragon in their art, So it looks like a dragon that's kind of like flying around a mountain. It's really an abstract concept. It could be a couple of dragons. It could be like a, for instance, it could be a couple of branches. It could be lava. It could be black, you know, burnt stuff. Like it could be tar. It could be crust. It could be anything. It's like charcoal. I said something when I lost weight and lost my. Oops, scared. Oh Lord. Also known as a landscape, a gate tree, the fern-like structure. Van Gogh. Also known as landscape agate, the tree fern-like structure is caused by the iron oxide and other materials. Very intriguing and inspiring gemstone. Mermaid said they're giving me a benzo because I'm so scared. They don't do laughing gas or put you to sleep with Ivy. Fluorite with Scarl. This looks like a winter tree with some. I'm gonna be kind of funny here with some bird poop in it, but it looks cool. It looks like art. But we could also say more appealing that it's like a bunch of berries that were crushed. That is awesome. Yeah, that's okay, Miranda. It's normal to feel that way. G said, "Apps, are you sucking down Red Bulls?" There is. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, God is funny. Yeah, definitely. Little needles of scroll, a type of tourmaline, inside the purple fluorite. Amethyst scepter. Well, gee, this is very warming to me because amethyst is my birthstone. Ab says I'm not. I'm sucking nothing at the moment, but not opposed. So yeah, shout out to the amethyst scepter. Oh, I was born in February. No, I'm Pisces. That's what I am. Yes, I'm neon in February. That's true. So yeah, this certainly looks like neon, and it looks like a very faint paint, like a water paint. And no Red Bulls. You're 24. Okay, understood. Mermaid. Yeah, I'm for the Pisces. And you have this right here. You have clear. Oh, okay, understood. Okay, yeah, because I've told you that before. It looks like I can see a Native American feather in there. I could see a couple of different things, like at the top part. It's pretty cool. It looks like a sexual device. It does look like that. It looks like a natural device, as you spoke of, from Temu Sheen. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And the petrified wood. Hilarious chat. Hilarious chat. Yes, yes, that looks like a dirty V. Yes. And Rory said, "Oh well, my sign isn't really compatible with Pisces too much, but you're nothing like some Pisces I've known." Oh, thank you, Mermaid. Yes, I am. I would think so because we do quite well with each other. So I'm glad to be the different one. Yeah. Scared. Yeah, that looks like some scary V right there. Scared. All right, and we have that. Oh yeah, I'm sure you do have stories. Yes. Okay, Moki, thank you. You sent it. All right, it's gonna go here. Pisces was the Pisces was the best BF I had, but I couldn't take it after 2 months, and it was the best date ever. Friday. He called every Wednesday for a Friday, then was shocked I dumped him. I don't like robotic behavior. I said, "Do you ever miss me on a Monday?" LMAO. Yeah, yeah. GSI, I understand. I had two Geminis in my life, and one almost ended my life. Everyone's different, even with their signs. Abs, that was nice size Dookie surprise. Hilarious. Hilarious. I like that. Opal with an ocean inside. This certainly looks like it definitely looks like an ocean with coral reefs and fish in it. That is quite incredible. G said it was like a first date every single Friday, amazing, but it was like so rigid. Yeah, it's women usually don't like that type of behavior that you mentioned, G, and it's good to be dynamic and not too static with things. Yeah, it's kind of like watching an automation machine, the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I am Cancer, but one sign I do not get along with is a Scorpio. Scared. All right. I knew there's watermelon. I love emotional. The moment I am very outgoing, and I like authentic, open mouth people. If you didn't know, oh, oh, what a surprise! No, I figured that. I left him for a Virgo who tortured me. Ah, yes. because there has to be a balance, because I get along with best of Leo men. Almost all my views are Leos. Okay. And the thing with that is, yeah, Leo the lion was a noble lion. You see, a lion is noble where a lion can be aggressive when necessary, can say no when acrobatic, but also kind of gentle when necessary. Because if you get tormented by somebody, that's not good. And when someone's too robotic and rigid, it's not too good. It's best to be in the middle, in my opinion. Because, a balanced view of things. Yeah, save some for Aaron. To look what up, Joyce, so I could get it right what y'all are talking about. Scared. Layers of red and green resemble the colors of watermelon. Not me hitting up Google right now. Oh, hilarious. All right. Joyce, you love aliens and abbeys. Yeah, there you go. After Virgo can be two kinds. My aunt was anal and clean and beyond generous. Where my husband is Aquarius and I'm a Gemini. Oh, I will, Joyce. I will. Iridescent ammonite shell. Now we'll look it up after this. This is another one that looks like a snail shell. Ammonite is made from the ammonite shell, is growing in popularity in the gemstone market. Mary Toodles is a Gemini. Charoite. Alright, this is like a sea of purple, a sea of February. You had 3 serious boyfriends. Ah, interesting. Google said Scorpio is who I'm most compatible with. Ah, interesting. All right, so that is the C. That's very interesting, very fascinating. This looks like a bunch of neon paint. Moki said, "I'm convinced that Mary and I would be BFFs if we lived near each other." Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. And it looks like there's a ship in the distance and there's like a neon ocean. The colors of opal sparkle and shine like no other gem. Oh, they got UFOs that look like that. Yes, yes. And the quartz crystal is used allegedly in UFOs. Love my hubby, not giving him up, but maybe we'll loan him. Oh. Hilarious, G. Alright. The golden rutilated quartz. It looks like there's like some welding going on inside there. Same signs say they would delete each other, but not necessarily true. Mermaid said, "I'm stuck in love with Gemini. There's nothing I can do to stop it." Scared. Capricorn and Scorpio never want to marry. Interesting. Not only are the needle like rudels, but thin and delicate, they are in a rare star shape arrangement. A wedding stone. All right, let's see. Multicolor labradite. Welding stone, I meant, yes. This looks like it's like a wall of a mountain, and it has some stuff on it from oil or from natural staining from different things. Okay, Moki, thank you. Okay. Okay. G said, I don't like gloom and doom and negative. My closest friends are Libra, Sag, and Gemini, and Leo and Pisces. Every boss I had was a since 18 was Pisces. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and G, you did send me another link, but when I was copying and pasting some stuff, I accidentally didn't save that link. But if you were able to resend it to me, I'd appreciate it. My bad. I didn't save it like I thought I did. Okay. And Ab says, I'm gonna boot it for now. Headache is fierce. I love you guys. Everyone, take care. Have a good night. Okay, Abby. Good night to you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Oh, that's interesting, Bob. Okay. Okay, and the Smithsonite is this. It is a glowing green undulation of. It looks like a cluster. Certainly, you see like one of those pirate caves, and it looks like something glows in the dark. Yeah, definitely. I like that for sure. It's very cool. All right, the blue azurite flower. All right, so this blue azurite flower is it's definitely a bunch of triangles put together on a it looks like a flower definitely. And a bunch of blue flowers. All right, Moki. Good night to you. New Valentine's Day gift idea, perhaps. And this is faceted armorite right here. All right, so the half amethyst and half Turin armorite. All right, so this is interesting where you have the different purples and different yellows. You have yellow and then pinks and orange. Interesting. All right, the blue green tourmaline. All right, so right here. Okay, so right here it has blue-green tourmaline. It looks like another thing, of course, another type of, object, a spicy object, or it could be interpreted as a mountain with you can kind of see the greenery, the in nature in the background. And G said, I don't remember it driving me nuts, but I think it was not an attorney, but something related to our chats. Someone thought something meant bi or Gemini. Now I am losing it. So that's interesting, G. I don't know if I recall that, but yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Mermaid said, haha, deja vu. Scared. Crazy lace agate. Let's see. Now this is interesting is layers of different browns and yellows. Now not yellows, but kind of like a tan color. And then you have some red and some blue and brown. It's quite interesting, and white. Gold fan shaped caco exenite. Okay. Now that is it. Thank you, G, for this article on the stones. Bob said, "Thank you, thank you, G." Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Definitely, definitely thought it was amazing. Well, thank you, G, for that. It's very sweet. All right. All right, let's look at this one. Architecture and design, an exclusive tour of the Olympia, Brooklyn's most expensive condo building. Just some buildings. We don't have to read them, just see them. Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, this architecture looks very nice. I like it. Very interesting buildings in New York. And, in Brooklyn specifically. And I like how it looks similar to those geodes and those gems that we see. And certainly, it said, looks like a bunch of windows. Certainly looks like a bunch of windows. And but at the same time, it looks a lot like those gemstones that we have. Also, I want to read a little bit about what this is about. The appearance for Dumbo's seafaring history and the neighborhood's enviable views extends to how the workstead approached Olympia's interior design, alongside abstract renditions of the Manhattan skyline by painters including Georgia O'Keeffe, Workstead senior designer Nadine Lynch, and explained a photograph of a sailboat that was this very dark and stormy sea was important aesthetic touchstone for the project that steered Workstead in the direction of warm parchment loans, tight timber, and moldy oceanic marbles, which shows up in the kitchen backsplashes and elsewhere. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's see some other ones. All right, so seeing some more unique buildings. G said the most valuable building in the world is the Great Mosque of Mecca. I'm pronouncing this wrong. Masjid al Haram, with an estimated construction cost over 100 billion. Oh yeah, that's a very beautiful mosque. Yeah, definitely. And we'll look at that up in a moment. Right, these are some unique buildings. It looks kind of like an alien fortress right there. Yeah, this one right here. People praying. That's the Kaaba. It was the in the pagan Mecca they had it, and then they converted it into an Islamic thing. So, and according to their faith, Abraham and Ishmael built it. All right, thank you, G. Thank you. And that part of the world, there's lots of that over there, especially over in China. But usually they don't like to do the drugs. They're not supposed to. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the stone is exactly. I have to look it up. I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's cool right there. That looks like a giant. Right there looks like a giant. One of those things from Star Wars that. Those giant droid things that walk around. That's what that looks like. It looks like, kind of like a surfboard. It's resting on something. Yeah, that is so cool. That is so cool. And I like the blue. I love the blue, the light blues, and the different buildings inside of it. So amazing. Top 10 famous buildings in the world, icons, architecture, and history. Introduction. The world is home to an array of architectural marvels that captivate the imagination and inspire awe. These famous buildings not only showcase human ingenuity but creative, but also hold historical and cultural significance. In the article, we explore the top 10 most famous buildings in the world, each representing the unique blend of architectural brilliance and historical richness. Taj Mahal, located in Agra, India, the Taj Mahal is ep- the epitome of love and Mughal architecture, built by the Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his beloved wife. White marble mausoleum is renewed in symmetrical beauty and interact carvings. Burj Khalifa, the dominating the skyline of Dubai, the Burj Khalifa stands in the tallest buildings in the world. This marvel of modern engineering reaches a staggering height of 828 meters and features an observation deck that offers breathtaking views of the city and beyond. That is very incredible right there. G said, wait, the hubby made it for the wife. Joyce, no one is making me a building, LMAO. Joyce said she said BRB. She would be, she said she'd be back. The Eiffel Tower, a global symbol of France, the Eiffel Tower in Paris is one of the most recognizable structures in the world. Designed by Gustave Eiffel, it is completed in 1889, and the Iron Lace Tower attracts millions of visitors annually who ascend its three levels for panoramic views of the city lights. Yeah, I don't think she's back yet. She said, so the Taj Mahal was a sign of love for his wife and her memory. Did he ever marry again? That is, I do not know. That's a good question. Let's see. He did not marry again after her death in 1631. He had a deep grief and vowed to not remarry. That's the truth. All right, so that's the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, that's some love. Meanwhile back then they were all arranged marriages. Bob said, I was at the Eiffel Tower in '89. They had lights all over, spelling 100 years. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool, Bob. The ancient pyramids of Giza, Egypt, are among the oldest and most enduring symbols of human civilization. These monumental tombs were constructed over 4,500 years ago for pharaohs and remain the testament of ancient engineering and prowess. It's stunning, but I've seen far more Eloquist buildings, Bob. It's cause I've seen it. Last Secretary Family is my favorite building. Oh, okay, interesting. Italy has the nicest architecture, but there are so many unique ones all over the world. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I remember we were talking about that earlier, Bob, with the Italy Italian architecture. Yeah, it's quite intriguing. Yeah. All right, the Hagia Sophia, located in Istanbul, Turkey. Hagia Sophia has served as a cathedral, mosque, and now a museum. Its massive dome and stunning mosaics exemplify Byzantine architecture, making it a significant cultural and historical landmark. Oh, Barcelona, that's cool. That's cool. Rome's Colosseum is an iconic symbol of ancient Rome's grandeur. This massive amphitheater capable of seating 50,000 spectators once hosted gladiator contests and public spectacles. It stands today as a testament to Roman engineering and architectural innovation. La Sagrate is a church that they say will never be completed. It's against a puzzle stern all about they try to own something together. Okay. Okay, thank you. The Angkor Wat in Cambodia is the largest religious monument in the world, originally constructed as a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu. It gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple. Its intricate base reflects a majestic towers, draws tourists and historians alike. Thank you, G. Hello, Dwayne. Thank you for stopping by. Abby's been doing fine tonight. We've been having good conversations with her. Everything's been going well. Thanks, Dwayne, for that. Very cool. Shout out to you, buddy. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy is famous for the unintended tilt built over 199 years. This freestanding bell tower is a testament to medieval engineering and attracts visitors who marvel at its unique angle and historical significance. All right, the Forbidden City. Located in Beijing, the Forbidden City served as an imperial palace for Ming and Qing dynasties. This sprawling complex traditional Chinese architectures include nearly 1,000 buildings and is UNESCO World Heritage Site. Oh, hello to Sharon. Hello to Sharon. Very nice city and very nice place in China. All right. The Acropolis of Athens. The Acropolis of Athens is an ancient citadel perched on a rock outcrop above the city of Athens. It is home to several ancient buildings of great architectural historical significance, the most famous being the Pantheon. Look at me. I did any traveling at age 25. Then since then, only flew to like Florida a few times, other states by car, see friends, family. Bob, she loved Barcelona. I told her to do everything with young, because once you marry, you have kids, it's very hard. Oh, okay. These top 10 famous buildings in the world reflect diverse range of architectural styles, cultural heritage, and historical importance. They stand as landmarks that continue to inspire and attract millions of visitors from around the globe. Until last year, went to Armenia and Paris as layover for 4 days. It's important to do things when you're young. When I was young, these travels were so cheap. Yeah, facts. Facts. All right, this is the Sagrada Familia, the Roman Catholic minor basilica in Barcelona, Spain, designed by Antoni Gaudí. Again in 1882, still unfinished, the first quarter of the 21st century, the Sagrada Familia, notably for its tactical organic form, is a Barcelona's most famous landmark. It is an unexpected sight in the urban setting with a bold flying bustreless twist towers and looming over the city. All right, and she's supposed to go to Tokyo on senior trip in high school when COVID happened. It was 11-day trip. School never did that before, but she never went. That's supposed to be amazing. Plus, it's cheaper. If one person goes with a friend, much more affordable than a whole family. No way how to afford all that. Foundation like tree roots. We all pray and hope to travel when retiring, but my aunt used to say something like, "We always remember when you were young. Your legs work, but you have no money. When you're older, you have saved money, but your legs don't work as well." Ah, interest. Yes, yes. project, originally envisioned by Francisco de Paula de Villar, was funded by donations to encourage Christianity in Barcelona, which was becoming increasingly secular. In 1883, Gaudi, over as a chief architect, and project would occupy him throughout the rest of his career. In his drawings and models for the church, Gaudi elaborates the original neo-Gothic designs and structures designed to stand on its own without international bracing or external blustering. Well, it certainly is quite intriguing. And how they may never finish it. It certainly looks like a magnificent piece of art. Indeed. Okay. Gaudi got ran over by a trolley. Incomes don't go up, but prices for all things go up. The piers in the hyperboloid values and sidewalls and hyperbolic paraboloid roof. It was to be Gaudi's expressionist vision of a 20th century cathedral where he would use visual symbolism to express the many mysteries of the Christian faith. He became increasingly pious when working on the church after 1910, abandoned virtually all other work, and eventually secluded himself on the site and resided at workshop. Dwayne says, "Have a great night, everyone. Friday is date night, so we're at the opera. And I remembered to bring my earplugs. Take care, everyone. Sending you all love and respect." Okay, thank you both for love and respect. Have a great time tonight at the opera. Thank you all. Thank you, Dwayne, for coming, my dear friend. Yeah, facts. Enjoy. Yeah. It's stunning and Sagrada. I knew I heard it somewhere when you said it, Bob. Looked at it and I'm like, OMG, it's Barcelona. In addition to being devoted to Christianity, Gaudi was an important participant in Ren Ajax and Enessa, an artistic revival. The artist crafts combined with a political revival in the form of the fervent anti-Castelline cataclysm. Both reveals sought to reinvigorate the way of life in Catalonia that had long been suppressed by the Castellan dominated Madrid censored government in Spain, and the Sagrada Familia became religious symbol of the Renaixia in Barcelona. The Gaudi's design and models, most of which were destroyed during the Spanish Civil War, showed an enormous form of cable accommodating some 1,300 people, built on a basic basilica plan. Latin cross is surrounded on three sides by porticos. The east stands natively facade with scenes celebrating Jesus' birth, and the west passion facade depicting the crucifixion, and main entrance boasts of the glory facade. Oh, they're still fighting bulls over there? Oh, okay. Boasts the glory facade, showing how humans can celebrate the divine glory overhead. 18 huge spindle-shaped towers rise in the heavens, each symbolizing different biblical figures. For evangelists, Virgin Mary and Jesus represented. Yeah, that's funny. It's GSI, huh? What you say? Yeah. Hilarious. Peace, Dwayne. Right. And yeah, shout out to the earplugs. In a countryside of Spain, a woman will sit on the stores of a town in their bras if it's hot outside. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. Showers rise to the heavens, each symbolizing different biblical figures: the 12 apostles, the four evangelists, and the Mary and Jesus, represented by what will eventually be the tallest central tower. Each three facades is flanked by four bell towers representing the apostles and traitor Judas and evangelists. Saint John, Saint Matthew are replaced, and Saint Barnabas, Saint Matthias, and Saint Paul. The six central towers representing Jesus and Mary, surrounding by the four evangelists, serve as Latinus from above. That's just breathtaking, seeing this image of the intricate carvings of this structure. It is certainly quite fascinating. Yeah, and I like the different statues that are inside of it too. I mean, are on top, are on the outside of it. Right, and I like the way the sky looks in the different towers. It's very nice. And we have this. All right. Yeah, about bulls think that she's right. Okay. Yeah, when Gaudi died in 1926, the only nativity facade, the bell tower, the apse, and the crypt were finished. His disciple Dominis Sergenes subsequently took over the project. Gaudi, whose tomb is beneath the cathedral, knew he wouldn't not live in the completion of his vision, believing it would take 200 years, but as he said, the patron of this project in a hurry. The works of Gaudi include Nativity facade of the crypt and the Sagrada family were designed as the UNESCO World Heritage in 1984. In 2010, the uncompleted church was concentrated for religious workshops and designed minor basilica by Pope Benedict. And let's see, interesting. Gotti got ran over by a train. I wonder if it cut him in half. Yeah, scared. Trains can do that. Oh well. Yeah. Work on the project has continued since Gandhi's death, and the remaining three bell towers of Nativity facade were completed in 1930. The Spanish Civil War in the late 1930s interrupted the construction, and subsequent loss of most of the Gandhi's designs and models greatly hampered efforts to continue the present design, parts of which have been met with the criticism. It is based on surviving reconstructed materials and numbers modern adaptations. In 1954, a foundation was laid for Passion facade, that four bell towers of which were completed in 1976. Central nave vaulting was completed in 2000 and finally covered in 2010. Gaudi was mistaken for a beggar due to his unkempt appearance and lack of identification. He suffered severe injuries, including broken ribs and internal bleeding. Was not recognized by anyone at the scene. He was taken to the hospital at the Holy Cross, where he was initially given only rudimentary care. Gotti died 2 days later on June 10, 1926, and was laid to rest in the crypt of Sagrada Familia. His death was mourned in Barcelona, and work continues to be celebrated unfinished. Barcelona, we got theaters to watch, play, theaters to live, live, prawn, lol. Oh, okay. Interesting. In 2000, finally covered in 2010, construction was halted in early 2020 because COVID-19 pandemic was resumed in October for a year. The Tower of the Virgin Mary, located above the apse of the church, rising in a height of 138 meters, was inaugurated in December 21. It is topped with a 12 pointed star that is illuminated at night. In 22, the towers representing the evangelists Saint Mark and Saint Luke were completed. The measure of 135 meters tall, the remaining towers and most of the church structure were planned to be completed by 26. The Continental Gotti's death is expected to be the tallest church building in the world. G said, well, in Europe, they celebrate being naked. Everything started in France, especially. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. All right. All right, we did this. Okay. Very interesting architecture. All right. Scared. All right. So, at this point in time, we will. Let's see. At this point in time, for the night, we have completed the stream for the night. We complete everything. Let Mike call my daughter in her room, LMAO. Ask her about this Satyagraha. I am basement at work desk. Oh, we'll wait a moment, G. Okay. So, let's go back to the other window then. Thanks for the chat. Y'all helped me out today. Well, Bob, we're glad that we helped you out, buddy. Thank you for. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Oh, she said it was beautiful. Okay. And we had a good chat tonight. We had a good chat. All right. And thank you, G, for information. Everything you provided, helping out tonight. And everybody else that was here earlier and here with us in chat, now and lurking, listening. I appreciate every single one of you for being here and hanging out with us. And we'll be live again tomorrow. And see you all then. And G says, she said it was best church she's ever seen. G, I think it certainly is the best church because I've never seen anything like that before. And I'm glad that she also agrees with that. It's really cool. Today it took a Myers cocktail, a full bag of vitamin IV. It's cost 150. Okay. Rest, Bob, and thank you for being amazing. Yeah, thank you guys. Amazing chat. All right. Okay. So, all right, everybody. Good night, everybody, and peace.